Hi there, my name is Professor Derek Viger. I'm one of the faculty leaders in the School of Management here at George Brown College in downtown Toronto. I wanted to talk to you today because our business program is focusing on business ethics and social responsibility right from the start. And that is no mistake. It is by design as we feel it's important and a differentiator. This week, you're going to be presented with a whole whack of material resources, case studies, readings, and examples. When I was studying business like you are, I love these upcoming classes because they were so rich in debate and different perspectives. You could really get a sense for the people behind the professionals. But what I was very much surprised by is what came after graduation. How quickly and how intense the pressure came to push your ethical boundaries, especially early in your career. What seemed relatively quote unquote easy to have an opinion on in business school in terms of right or wrong became a lot more mucky. Once you're in the game and your young career, your paycheck, and most importantly, your reputation was on the line. So, why I want to talk to you today is to give you a bit of perspective on why it's not always easy, which hopefully not only underscores the importance of working through this week's material and why you should take it to heart, but hopefully it sticks and it gives you a heads up so you can be prepared for the inevitability of you having to make tough ethical decisions in business. So, to illustrate how tough this can be, let me ask you a question. And no, it's not that question. You know, the question you get asked by family whenever they come over for dinner or teachers whenever they're checking in. So what do you want to do? What do you want to be? Where is this all going to lead? What job are you going to get? I want to ask. You're probably getting that enough. Instead, let me put a different spin on it and ask a slightly different way. What job do you not want? Sometimes you can figure out where you want to go by knowing where you want to avoid. So I want everyone listening in to press pause on this video and take a second to think about what job you would not be well suited for or you just would not want to do. Okay, press pause. I'll wait here for 3 seconds. You didn't press pause, did you? I know how this works. But seriously, for this exercise to hit, I need every one of you to have a specific example top of mind. So I'm not letting you off the hook that easy, okay? May be helpful if I gave you a few examples, okay? I've done this with previous classes, and let me just share an idea of some of the things other students have said. So I remember one student in particular said, told the story about how their family had a history of lung cancer. So she said she didn't want to work with a company like Imperial Tobacco, who manufactures and runs brands like Demorier or Players and Marlboro in Canada, which is totally understandable, right? Another person might chime in and say something like, "I don't like guns, so I can never take on a project for the military." Makes sense. Or someone might say, "I'm a vegan, so the thought of working for a meat processing plant, maybe something like the meat division of Maple Leaf Foods, it's just not for them." Okay, so you see where we're going here, right? So what is it for you? Okay, press pause. I want you to think for 20 seconds about what job or project you, for whatever reason, you do not want to do. Okay. Hold on while you're doing that. I'm just gonna quickly take this call. Oh wow, you know who that is on the phone? It's a really good friend of mine. Oh my gosh, it's my buddy. What a coincidence. She's wondering if I know any standout students who want a junior management position in their company. I told her I was talking to some right now. What are the chances? I'd be happy to pass the phone to you if you want to talk to her. The job is paying a starting salary of $40,000 and can start right after graduation. All you got to do is tap the phone on the screen with your finger if you want the job. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention what company it is. It's a company who does business in the very thing that you just said to yourself you don't want to do. Do you still want to talk to her? Tap the phone on the screen before somebody else does because there's only one job opportunity available. Okay, I can see not everyone touched the screen. That's cool. Hey, wait, let me talk to her for a minute. Oh, wow. It looks like they just got a big account, so they need to increase the responsibility and pay of the position. Now they're willing to pay 65,000 per year. Who wants in? If you do, you better tap that screen before somebody else does. Just to be clear, if this means if you're a vegan, this is a job with Maple Leaf Meats. If you're against guns, this is a contract with the Canadian military. If someone in your family died of lung cancer, this is a job with Imperial Tobacco. Are you going to touch the phone? Not sure? $80,000 a year starting salary. $100,000. Conflicted? Don't feel bad. You're not alone. In fact, when I run this informal show of hands survey as part of my ethics class each semester, we see a lot of movement. Typically, a third of students are interested right away. Usually half are in when we offer about 65K. And by the time we get to 80, 100K, nearly everyone is in with the exception of a few holdouts. I share this not for you to pass judgment, but to illustrate that staying true to your values and beliefs isn't always easy, which is why this unit is so important. There are a number of factors pulling you away from your moral compass, and we want you to recognize these factors so that you can be prepared to fight them. So, what are some of the typical pressures that we feel to push our ethical boundaries? Well, here's some of the most common ones we hear. If you don't do it, somebody else will. Competition for jobs are very fierce, and likely someone's still going to do it even if you're not a part of it. I have to hit my target to get my bonus. My bonus is based on performance, on hitting my numbers, not the number of ethical decisions I make. Time is money. We got to get this done fast. So it doesn't seem like there's an opportunity to take a step back and consider what this might mean or what kind of impact this could have on our stakeholders. My boss told me to. What do I know? I'm relatively new here. What voice do I have? And then the slogan, it's not personal, it's just business. This perception that sometimes you have to act unethically in order to get ahead. In the news, we hear about examples from the government or large companies that act unethically all the time. So maybe it's a necessary part of getting to the top. Look, what I want to say to you and what all the faculty in our School of Management want to say to you is that you can bet it does matter and that it is important that you stand up for what you stand for. Look, in week 1, we introduced that a corporation at a minimum has a sole legal obligation, and that is to generate profit for its stockholders. It used to be that we just evaluated a successful company on whether they made a lot of profit and employed a lot of people, but the bar has been raised. This is social responsibility. You have to think about being accountable for not just profit, but acting in the interests of your customers, employees, society, the environment. It's necessary for a business to thrive and you as a manager to excel. It's not always easy. Sometimes your responsibility to generate profit can be perceived to butt heads with all these other obligations. For instance, we have to keep costs low to make profit, and satisfying all these other interests, well, that costs money. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't the most profitable in the short term. However, they should be considered as investments, and that recognizing that a company has a responsibility to do right by all these stakeholders, and doing so can create and grow more value in the long run. So what's the question we really, really care about? What are you made of? Well, that's something you're going to find out, and as you work through the materials this week, look for considerations and inspiration to help you define it. Your ethics are shaped by your personality traits, family values, experiences, education, cultural and company norms. It's imperative that you absorb the material this week so you think about what it means for you, and that you find a way to keep its importance top of mind when you're making your mark, despite the pressures you may face. One good way to do this is to think about what is your own personal code of ethics. What's important to you? What are your standards for your behavior at school and personal relationships and on the job? And then once you've defined that, reflect. You're usually your best critic. And assess how you're meeting your own standards. What are the strategies and tactics that you need to put in place in order to back up your own personal code of ethics and live it every day? I hope you enjoyed some of these perspectives and they got you thinking about some of the challenges you might face in upholding the social responsibility standards you aspire towards. The intention was that if you had a heads up, you could be better prepared to be the leader and manager you want and we need. As business faculty, I want to echo that we want you to push through to lead and manage in a socially responsible manner. Managing and leading in a socially responsible manner can be the it factor that distinguishes yourself as both a professional and person. Don't hesitate to reach out to me or your other profs with further feedback or considerations, and together, let's make it happen. All the best.